Hi everybody, this is Nicole Kenny, Mortgage Loan Officer with Loan Depot, NMLS number 635397. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the steps that you should take before talking to a loan officer if you're looking at buying a home. This can be a bit of an intimidating process for anybody, and so having a little bit of preparedness before going into it will really help your comfort level. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is establish your financial goals, and usually that comes with determining what your budget is. And most importantly, that is arriving at what is your monthly goal payment, or what is that number you do not want to exceed. Having that in mind will really help your loan officer go through the qualification process and ensure that we are working within your budget and accomplishing your financial goals. The next thing would be determining the timeline in which you want to buy. That could be in the immediate, it could be 3 to 6 months down the road, it could be a year down the road. At any point, getting prepared and having a conversation with a loan officer at any of those phases is a great thing to do. Finally, there might be goals that you have to either pay off or pay down any debt before you try to apply for a home loan. And so that brings us to our next point. And that being how to prepare yourself for credit qualification. It's always good to have an idea as to what your credit score is or could be at that time. A lot of people are monitoring their credit on either Experian or Credit Karma. And if you haven't pulled your credit recently, that's totally okay. We just like to have a conversation with where you think you could be at that time. So the next is to be aware of what your credit utilization is. So that means what type of balances are you carrying on your credit cards or your loans? Do you have high utilization on your credit cards? Are you kind of in the middle? Do you have low balances on your credit cards? There's pros and cons to all of those things. And so if you have an idea of where you stand, then your loan officer can help you determine if there's actions to take before you get pre-qualified or if you're ready to roll. The next thing we want to talk about is student loans. So I work with a lot of clients that carry student loan debt, and it's very common. And the most important piece here is to just explain that there's a lot of flexibility that we have when working with clients that carry student loan debt, regardless of where you are in your process. So just come prepared to be able to answer questions and explain what your student loan debt situation is, if you're making payments, if you're not, so on and so forth. The next plan you should have in place is knowing what your down payment goals are and what options are available to you. It's a common misconception that you have to make 20% down in order to buy a home. You actually don't. If you aren't able to make the full 20% down payment, there are multiple financing options that allow you to put as low as 0% down to 5% down on a new home. So that would allow you to utilize savings that you may already have in the bank. It would allow you to take advantage of a gift from a family or inheritance because you actually can use that as part of your down payment. A lot of financing options allow that. But if none of those options are available to you, there are still solutions that we can find and or a plan that we can put in place to get you to your goals. So regardless of your situation, this is where you get to decide how to best utilize those funds. And together we will determine a solution that best accomplishes your financial goals. The biggest thing that I've learned in my experience of lending is that every client is different and you should never feel like you have to fit into a certain mold. If there is a solution out there, I am committed to finding it.